Hello, hello. I hope you're having a wonderful day. This is Maria, the founder of bfabbu.com, and I'm popping in today because I got inspired by talking to my peer Christina, who is in health and wellness in the essential oil arena, and we're catching up. Had been a while, and I actually pull up a few things from my trash to tell her, and those few things are these chocolate stuff, and I'm going to talk more about it. And I said, you know what? I'm sharing this with her, and she's cracking up. She's like, wow. And I says, I should do a little video about this because this is information that all of us need to know. And sometimes I think that, all of you know about this. And I don't think that everybody knows about it. And I'm having a blast experimenting with my body. The other day, I did a short video of me introducing a CGM, which is a continuous glucose monitor to my body. It's gonna be here for 14 days, and I'm having a freaking blast with it because I don't have to prick my fingers to understand, and it's controlling my blood sugar all the time, and I can do some detailed analysis and gather data, and I love data. Maybe you'll love as well. So it's so much better and more insightful when we know what's going on with our bodies, so we can actually get inspired to change. And some of the reasons I'm doing this is because, I'm an insulin resistance coach. I coach people with pre-diabetes, insulin resistance, early signs of diabetes as well, because I used to have those problems, pre-diabetes, insulin resistance, and impacted my life, my health, my energy, my organs in many ways. And I became really passionate about it. That's why one of the reasons I changed my career and lifestyle and health. So anyway, getting back to it. So this over here is being phenomenal because I'm having so much fun eating foods and checking how my glucose is responding. So I'm going to start with what I actually started with today. And about 2:30 this afternoon, I decided to eat an apple. And I don't remember if back on the day I pricked my fingers for apple, but I decided to do it. So this is a medium-sized Gala apple. It's a red apple, which I love. It is my favorite type of apple. And I said, let me check it out. So I checked my blood sugar. It was at that point about 90 milligrams per deciliter. So I'm not going to be repeating milligrams per deciliter. I'm just going to say the numbers, okay? And I'll give you some perspective what this number mean in a minute here. So this was 2:30. About 45 minutes after, at 3:15 p.m., my number had skyrocketed to 131. And I say skyrocket in a kind of negative way because it is kind of negative. Okay, that was 41 points increase, and that is astronomical. I'll tell more about it in a second. So at 3:30, about an hour after I ate the apple, my numbers were at 121. But what I decided to do is something that I used to do quite often is, you eat something sweet and all of a sudden, that gives a little craving, or you want to keep that sweetness in your mouth. And I did this all the time back in the day. I was always with chocolate around, sweet pastries, whatever. So actually, after I ate my apple, I went to the gas station and I got these 4 pieces of chocolate. They're small, okay? You can see here for reference from a distance, but they're small. So, by the way, I paid 25 cents for each one of these guys. So this is a Tweaks, I like this. A Snickers bar. This is, again, a tiny little guy, okay, like that, right? And then 100 grand. And this was one of those square Hershey things, So who would think much about this 4 little pieces, First of all, they taste good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I used to be a sugar addict, and chocolate was one of the main things that I did, and they still taste good, all right? So I ate them 4 at 3:30. So here we go. What happened to my blood sugar then? By the way, it was already high. It was at 121, which was still 31 points higher than I ate that apple. At 50 minutes later, okay, it was 168. It had increased 47 points. At 4:28, which is about an hour after, it hit this skyrocketing number of 181. So this is 60 points higher, okay? And then, and I checked multiple times. I'll just give you highlights over here. because this is important. The time is important too. So soon after this, at 4:28, it starts going down. So my peak was about an hour at 181, and then it started going down at 5:30 p.m. So basically 2 hours after I ate the 4 little pieces of chocolate, it had come down to 87. Okay, now what do these numbers mean, by the way? They mean a lot. And a lot of times we have no idea what they're doing, because did I feel any negative side effect of eating that apple? Absolutely not. I didn't feel a thing, right? Now, what was going on inside my body was a different thing, right? So when we, healthy levels of glucose are between 70 and 100, okay? So between the numbers of 110, if you're in a fasting, meaning it's a wake up in the morning or you haven't eaten for many hours, at least 8 hours, and your fasting number is about between 110 and 125, there is a problem right there. That's pre-diabetic numbers already. And a study has found that when we are working on that range of 110 to 125 milligrams per deciliter, we had already lost up to 40% of the beta cell mass. And this is incredibly important. Now, I went all the way up, right, to 181. So the post-meal blood sugar of 140 and higher, okay, what happens? We can cause permanent organ damage. Now, you might be thinking, well, Maria, man, how often are you high? Let me tell you this. How often are you high and you don't even know it? We cannot improve anything unless we measure. So that's why measuring our body from a glucose over here, which for me is fundamental. This is about our metabolic health, right? Which includes blood pressure, blood sugars, our LDL and so on. So our metabolic health is very important. And understanding what's going on inside is extremely important. Who would think that an apple would skyrocket my blood sugar that high, right? Or maybe it's that doing to you. We don't know what's doing to you until you measure, right? Can you get a CGM like I did? Yes, it is possible for you. You don't have to have diabetes. There's many sources. I'll be talking about that in my next podcast as well, explaining all this stuff, right? Can you prick your fingers like I did for a long period of time? Yes, you can do that. Is that more painful? Yes. There's different ways to get it done today. The thing is, you do not want to get to diabetic levels, okay, or pre-diabetic levels to understand what's going on in your body. Know that you are unique, and how you're responding to foods is very different than your partner, your colleague, your kid, grandparent, whatever that is. You are different people, okay? So you got to understand what's going on with you and understand the consequences. So why did I do what I did, okay, in this order? Because I used to do this a lot. I used to do this quite often, where I would go from an apple or a piece of pastry or some other fruit, and then I would go, okay, especially when I was in the corporate world, that stress levels are high, and you have the pastries and the chocolates everywhere, and we're trying to calm our nerves down, and we're not eating properly, meaning you're not eating balanced meals that have all 3 macronutrients. And what happens? You go to the next door and there is some chocolate over there, or you go to the kitchen and there is some leftover pastry or bagel, whatever, right? I used to do this all the time. And then on the way home, I would stop at gas station or supermarket and buy the candy and this, that, and that, and that, right? So I was medicating myself. Right, with junk. So imagine here, right? Or not imagine, this happened this afternoon. Ate the apple. Who would think the apple would do anything to me that elevating my blood sugar to damaging levels, cell damaging levels, right? And then before actually was all the way down, what did I do? I actually ate some more stuff, the chocolate, that actually put to astronomical high levels, right? Now, what this normally will do to the body too is you're gonna maybe get some cravings, after you eat this. So, well, you finish this like I did 2 hours later, you might not, because this is not a complete meal, this is junk, right? and you go and you eat something else. You eat maybe another piece of fruit, or maybe you get some piece of bread, whatever it is, and you keep going until maybe it's dinner time, or you have a beverage, alcoholic, where you just left work and you go to a bar and you have alcoholic beverage, you get some chips at a Mexican place, whatever that is. You see where I'm going with this? Hopefully you can see, because we do not know what's going on with the body a lot of times. We just think that this is okay with me because I'm not feeling it. The lack of you understanding, or you and I, all of us, right? This is not pertaining to you as an individual only. Maybe you do know where you stand. Maybe you do track everything. Maybe you are very in tune with your body. But it's still, eating that apple didn't give me any signs of disruption. Now, did I have any signs of disruption when I ate this chocolate? Yes, I did. I did, because I had what? I had gas. I had gas. And that gas is telling me what? That my body is not in agreement with ingredients in here. There is another reason that I'm doing these experiments over here, doing the CGM and eating this kind of junk, not only to understand really, because I already had done experiments with sugary foods and candy and all that in the past, but it's also because I'm doing food sensitivity tests. And a lot of these foods over here, they have a lot of junk that the food sensitivity test will pick it up. From the coloring of the food, from sucralose and, the milk that is in here, the wheat, and so on, unhealthy fats and so on. So this is all part of understanding the body. We gotta take this personalized approach to ourselves so we can do better. And a lot of times we kind of do this. I ignore my health and my well-being for so long. Well, this is normal because Joe Blow over here, or John, or whoever, Maria, and they feel like that. They're not complaining. They're living their lives, right? Can we push through? Yes, we can push through. But is that good for you? I don't want you to push through. You want to live in an optimal level. You want to have energy that is innate from you, not driven by junk, like I did for many years, right? So we need to understand where we're at. If we have inabilities to lose weight, okay, to have mental clarity, to stop the gas, the reflux, and all those things, the body is begging you to do something about it. So do your best to do this, okay? To open your ears and your eyes to what the body is telling you. But keep in mind that it might not be telling you the truth quite yet, because the inflammation and the side effects, like this apple, that is a healthy food, you might not be feeling. Inflammation grows into our body, and we're not feeling until it gets to a point of a lot of inflammation. And we can see that to blood levels, doing some homocysteine, CRP, and several things, that happen in the body. And the body's going to say, yesterday, my experiment was pretty cool too, because I saw signs of food sensitivity. How did I do that? Knowing my blood sugar. Because I ate what I consider, it was oats, and it was protein powder. It was a bunch of other stuff that made it very powerful carbs, protein, and healthy fats. And what happened? It was a delayed blood sugar spike, okay, of an hour. Everything was fine. All of a sudden, boom, skyrocket. Generally, that's a sign that there is a food sensitivity, because it takes a process for the body to digest, and all of a sudden it's like, no, I don't like this, so it creates a reaction, right? And that reaction is going to raise certain hormones, and then we can see to the blood sugar. So is this important to know? Yes, it is very important to know. And I'm inviting you to kind of open your mind, in your eyes, to say, maybe I want to understand what's going on. And I'm here to help you out. I'm here to help you out with all this. And obviously you can tell this is a subject that I love. I love to, I'm a curious person. So I'm always growing, we're always changing. The body's changing constantly. So just because you did maybe a test, or you got this and that done, or you did this experiment, or you tried this diet or lifestyle 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it does not mean that you're the same person. And we change every day. Right? The thing is, if you're not feeling optimal, it's because something underneath is not going well. So it's your responsibility to figure out what it is, right? So I do a lot of stuff to figure myself out and keep correcting because I'm not perfect. I just did a bunch of tests recently, and there's things that I'm correcting, and I'll be sharing more about those things, from hormone perspective, from digestion perspective, I've been doing this food sensitivity testing, that actually I've done many, many years ago, but these are much more in depth, more accurate tests, So there is multiple ways that we can dive into discovering the body. I just invite you to say, how can I get started? And I can help you to figure that out too, right? What it takes is for you to say, you know what? Yes, check in. This is not right. Do I want to live a better life? Yes. Do I want to feel healthier? Yes. Do I want to have more energy? Yes. Why you want to do that? Well, because you want to conquer this. You want to be there for your kids, for your grandchildren, whatever it is. Whatever your why is got to be big enough to say, I'm going to make an effort to feel better, And the feeling better is not just looking in the mirror and, oh my God, yeah, I can put that bikini. No. It's got to be different than that, because the work, in experimentation, discovery, it might take a minute. And, you want to jump in and say, I'm going to do one thing at a time and I'm going to make progress. That is the key for improvement, right? It's progress. It's measured by progress. It's not that you be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Somebody's telling you that it's going to get always to the root cause of something. You may never get to the root cause because the chaos in the body might be quite deep, quite be long there. So it's got to be patient over here, right? The thing is, are we measuring, and how can we keep making progress, and are we seeing progress? So that is where sometimes coaches come along, like myself, that can do battery of, interpretation of labs. If you're a lab person, you want to see, where you're starting and where you're going to go, labs are a good way. Some people say, what, Maria, just tell me what to do. I don't need the labs. I know how I'm feeling, and we go with that. Fine too. Okay, but one thing I will tell you, you need to know where your blood work is, okay? And I can help you with a functional blood chemistry analysis. You got to get your blood work done, okay? No matter what. This is indispensable, and it's kind of a must. So anyway, this ended up being a little longer than what I wanted, but I'm passionate about this, and you got to know this stuff. You got to, it's a kind of self-respect, right? And I'm not asking everybody to do all this stuff that I do as a coach for my health. But we got to start somewhere, right? If you're not feeling great. And if you don't even know, Maria, I feel great. And it says, well, how much better could you be feeling? Is that potentially a room over here for you to feel better, do something better? Yes. Do you want to discover what is your optimal level is and what can do for you? Things that maybe you put behind that you haven't accomplished, haven't thought about doing in so long, like you gave up because you're lacking the energy or this and that and that, whatever that is. This is, maybe if I have better health, if I feel awesome all the time, if I have that mindset that I can conquer the world because I'm doing it. Well, maybe that's what it is, right? And maybe that's what you can do for yourself. So we do not know what our best level is. I do not know one person who knows what their best level is. Okay? And that's the truth. That's the truth. Most of us go like robots, walking up and down and waking up and doing the same crap all day, and living life passing by without us actually living the dream. And that dream is the dream that you have. And if you don't have a dream, well, maybe think about tonight, jot about it. What I really would like to accomplish before I leave this world. I know, I get out of the rail here. I get passionate about it, but I just felt like I would stop by and share these awesome things with you. Hopefully this gives you an inspiration, a food for thought on things that you can do for yourself. In the meantime, I'm going to keep having lots of fun, experimenting, and playing with myself. Okay? Have a wonderful day. And by the way, if you want to reach out, please do. I can answer any questions that you have. If you've done some experiments like this, I would love to hear too. And I'll be talking more about this in my podcast. That's BFABU Made Simple. You can search that online or go to my website, bfabbu.com, and you can sign up for the website, subscribe, whatever. And if you'd like to schedule a time to talk to me about your health and wellness and fitness, go at it. I would love to be your partner in crime, so we can set up a plan of attack and get you from moving from point A to point B. And we, as a coach, I work you help you to get this debris out of the way so you can accomplish with confidence and feel awesome. Okay, so again, go to bfabu.com or send me a private message and we get the ball rolling. Have a wonderful day and see you next time. Bye-bye.